This is me.
Just kidding. This is me.
My name is Amanda, and welcome to my podcast where I will be talking about pop culture, music,
film, drama, and fan videos. Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Always Popular. I'm Amanda, your host, and let's get into this week's episode. If you're into dramatic reality shows and love spending your summer watching the hottest tea and gossip, you may have been watching shows like Claim to Fame. Claim to Fame hasn't been around for too long because it's relatively new, as it's only had 2 seasons. The show started last summer of 22. This year, the show started in June, and this upcoming August, Claim to Fame is now down to its final 4 contestants. For this show, it's based off of someone's famous celebrity relative, and the 12 people have to live together in a house and figure out who they are related to off of a bunch of clues and by playing games. And if you are familiar with this clip, she's screaming.
I didn't even get to do any challenges!
You're watching the right show. So for this episode, you will get spoilers ahead as well. This series started off with 12 people and is now down to 4. The show is hosted by Kevin Jonas of the Jonas Brothers and his younger brother Frankie, who is not famous. So now let's meet our final contestants: Chris, Monet, Carson, and Gabriel. Based off of first impressions, I thought Chris was related to John Mayer. I knew that there was something very familiar about him, so I felt like I knew who he was. So here's a summary on Chris. He says he looks a lot like his celebrity relative. He's a musician, and during the second episode of the show, Monet pulled a clue on Chris. The clue features a dog, a heart, a shirt, a letter N, an I, a doll, a door, and 7 shirts. This clue really decodes the saying, puppy love, teen idol in the 70s. The following episode, Jane and Monet get misleaded to think that he's related to Elvis Presley. However, that caused Jane to go home. In the following episode, Chris admits on camera that his relative is associated with Vegas. In the 6th episode, the other contestants, they believe that he's related to Jim Carrey. However, he doesn't fit the mold for the clues. Sadly, Chris has been on the chopping block now 3 times, and everyone fails to guess him incorrectly. The viewers at home seem to know better and believe he's related to Donny Osmond, who was in a boy band, the Osmonds, in the 70s, and then went solo as a teen idol. To be honest, he would have been my second pick. For some odd reason, they believe he was related to Elton John, who is British, and the clue about his relative is that he is from Utah. So, to be honest, I don't know if he'll win or not. He may have a better chance than Gabriel. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he was eliminated or won. So for his final status, I believe that he would end up at the top 3. Monet, one of the last girls standing, has yet to be in the bottom 2. She has not yet had been the guesser and has consistently won most of the challenges and has been saved the whole season. She may be a mystery to everyone else on the show. However, for some reason, Carson thinks she's related to Steve Harvey, but no one else is convinced. She claims her dad is an Emmy-winning athlete based off of her 2 truths and a lie. When her team loses a group challenge, her clues are revealed as a lightning cloud, a fedora, and a necklace with a chain. However, with all the viewers at home, it's a lot easier to do research. One rule on the show is that they can't use cell phones or any technology whatsoever. The viewers at home believe her relative is JB Smoove, an actor and stand-up comedian. Her major clue was revealed in episode 5, where the clues points to the shows Saturday Night Live and Curb Your Enthusiasm. When I looked into these shows, he was the first person to come up for both the cast on the shows. So I feel like she could be in the top 3 as well. But will she win? Honestly, out of the girls, I think she has a better chance than Carson. Carson could be easier to figure out. Her celebrity relative name has been mentioned in various clips throughout the season. At first, people thought she was related to Jeff Gordon, a NASCAR driver. During the premiere, she says her 2 truths and a lie, and that her relative is a musician. Her major clue is that it reads, with the symbols, trophy, an eraser, a minus sign, question mark, 2 records, and 4 beers. To be honest, I don't know what that translates to. Moving on to the next episode. In the 4th episode, the house is convinced that she's related to a NASCAR driver. Also, during a challenge, the attire is a clue for her person. She even tells Chris that Gordon is not her celebrity. In the 7th episode, the contestants learn that her relative has won the big race, the Daytona, multiple times and is associated with the names Danica Patrick, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jay-Z. Also, Carson did mislead everyone in the house that she was related to Jeff Gordon, and that resulted in Olivia going home. Between her and Monet, I feel like Carson may go home first. And lastly, we have Gabriel. Gabriel mentioned his famous relative during Two Truths and a Lie that his brother was an NAACP Image Award winner and that it's also his brother and he's an athlete. His lie was that he was an athlete. The following episode is that his relative is from San Diego, California. In episode 4, a cheeseburger was his clue, and many people believe that hints to Welcome to the Good Burger that Kenan and Kel did on Nickelodeon and that he guest starred on the show. Chris had to pull his clue with Gabriel watching, and while Gabriel is worried that he'll figure it out, the major clue is that the clue denotes to a father to more than 10 kids and Drumstar. That points directly to Nick Cannon, who is a father of multiple kids and is always in the news for announcing for having a new baby into his family and for starring in the 2002 movie Drumline. So with that being said, that pretty much wraps up everyone. So I kind of feel that for Gabriel, he has a very popular name in his family, and I feel that his celebrity relative is the most relevant out of anyone, for me at least, considering that I am a fan of Nick Cannon. I think he may be the next one to go home. I don't know why, but I have this feeling he may go home next. So my final prediction would be that 4th place would be Gabriel, 3rd place would be Carson, and Chris would be the runner-up, and maybe Monet could win. Honestly, it could be anyone's game, and now we'll just have to see and wait, sadly, until next week for the 2-hour finale. What are your thoughts on these people, and who do you believe could win the $100,000? Once again, thanks for listening and watching, and you'll hear me in the next episode.